So here's
This is apparently the dog's prison. He lives in here.
the bathroom where Sunny is trapped. Now, Sunny stays in this bathroom when there's not someone to supervise her.
He had to cope. He had to think about the cope there for a minute.
Like you would have a kennel trained dog, except she has a big fucking bathroom. I don't know. Locked in.
So the cope is, yes, they are trapped in the bathroom, but it's big.
A bathroom. Look at her living in squalor. It's terrible. Just abused and constrained. Not the same. Dogs don't do good in isolation. The dog isn't in isolation. The dog has a place to stay when no.
It's like April. He's talking about the dog like April. April does not live with me. She just has a place to stay for 1 month, which she tells a police officer, which establishes ownership.
No one is around to supervise her, so she's not running around the house like crazy. And
we don't want April running around the house like crazy so that my kids see that they have 2 moms.
Have you heard how many stories were from the bathroom? Like all of them. This is where
I've just now confirmed all the stories for no reason, and they all occur to the bathroom. All the stories that people have said were in the bathroom are now true. I've just now confirmed this.
I have a Google Music thing in there. I hang out in this bathroom like Steve Harvey.
The bathroom hangout. What the? Basically, I think that there's kind of 2 points here that are right. I think it's irregular that they showed people body cam footage if there was still evidentiary hearings going on about it. I don't think Rekieta is going to win any claim against the government about that, though, and it's sort of a weird way to spend your money, because obviously for some things you can get a lawyer paid on contingency, but I don't think any lawyer is going to take something like this on contingency. And the other point I think is right is I do think that there's a FOIA issue here where it was submitted as evidence, and the fact that they had it reclassified without having a hearing where both counsels present is like fucking weird. I don't think it's a cover up though. I think they just wanted to go over. So basically, to sum up all of this without you having to read it, is the house is a complete disaster. It's like straight up, there's shit everywhere. And there's one point to this I do kind of want to read through because I think it's really funny, which is when they talk to Nick. And this is like a classic lawyer thing, right? Where lawyers are always like, hey guys, did you know that you're not supposed to talk to lawyers? It's like, oh, whoa, dude, revolutionary concept, right? And then immediately talks to lawyers and tells them everything. Basically, there's a point where he asks if his bedroom is like his bedroom, and then he sleeps there, and he says yes, which is just, I don't know, man. Like, there's some, from knowing a guy who does some stuff about this, when you work for like the DA's office, or like you're a public defender, or even not you don't want to be a public defender, but like you're a private defense, you read through like hundreds of cases and they all go exactly the same way. And the police all ask the exact same conversations. And so you just have the elements burned in your brain. And when he asks here if the nightstand where he found the drugs is his, and he does, like, an alarm doesn't go off in his head, it really makes me think it's not just that he doesn't have a lot of experience. He was only a lawyer for a few years. It makes me think he literally never did anything. There's some like funny and weird, like what Rekieta would say. I listening to him too much. I'm picking up on stuff like that. Anyway, I guess I can just sum it up. Basically, the cop just asks. He's like, hey, is that bedroom your primary bedroom? And he says yes. And he's like, so you're there all the time? And he's like, yes. And so like the things there are like your personal property. And he says yes. And then the cop's just like, all right, I don't need anything else. And he's right. Like, it's just ridiculous. I don't know what he was thinking there. There's a couple other things where there was questioning. Basically, Rekieta's response to this was to say that it's not true. It's not true. And to attack the credibility of the witness, of the lady who watched it. Here's the problem. There are some things to make fun of about this lady. I'm not going to go over the interview because Housemice already did it. There's some things to make fun about her. She's very clearly like a Karen-type middle-aged woman who's getting her nose into this way deeper than really it makes any sense. And I guarantee you there's going to be something. There's going to be some weird shit about her to explain why she's willing to go to every single court case and every single thing. Now, none of that excuses any of the shit about Nick, so that's not my point. But that is one reason why I think that that like Nick is trying to attack her. The thing is, I don't think it's a winning strategy because she seems too boomer normal. She's like spiritual but not religious. She has some like, you know, she has some like background that she's already alluded to. I like normies are watching this stuff now, like the Rekieta stuff, and they're gonna take her side. Like, and so when you attack her and you start making threats like this, like, does the county keep records? Gonna find out. I have no sympathy. And then even more so, he says here that he's gonna kill her. She smells like a scorned pay pig. I think you're completely fucking right. And the reason, and it's because there was a time like at Nick Rekieta's peak where his primary demo was these like middle-aged wine ant type people. I think you're completely right. I think she's a scorned pay pig, and that's why she's so invested. I don't think you know what. Oh yeah, this. He says here that he didn't break his marriage vows because he didn't vow to not cheat. Or no, because we made our choices together in the daylight. We may have been wrong and brought us through hell, but we did it together. There wasn't a betrayal. We loved and kept each other through good. So this is just further proof that he doesn't believe in the idea of sacramental marriage. Whoop, big surprise. I guess we already knew that. But breaking a commandment and breaking a vow are different. Okay, but buddy, like the whole point of the sacrament is that it's the new covenant, right? The new commandments. Okay, and marriage is a sacrament, and fidelity is part of that sacrament. So it is a commandment. I did not vow perfect fidelity. Yes, you do. I did vow to love and cherish her in sick and health and good times and bad. I have honored those vows. So basically, as long as I'm like a sugar daddy and I pay for her shit, and I am like her like her handler, I can cheat and do whatever I want. Don't tell me I broke promises I didn't make. It's just fucking crazy. You become one flesh. What does he think that means? So anyway, he says, it's more about lies and the projection of her own addiction. Riddled life onto mine. So this is what I mean when I say that something, quote, funny and weird might come out about the lady that he's suggesting addiction. He spelled addiction wrong, by the way. She's a creep and a psychotic stalker. The world will be better when she exits. And it's like, dude, I get, like, you know, what he's thinking. He's thinking, like, attacking the witness. But this is not a witness, I think, that you're going to win out on the reputation battle. Criticizing. I don't, and not only that, but saying that you want her to die. It's like, dude. I don't know, like a lot of people are going to take her side even if she looks bad. It's kind of like what they did with Nick for a while, you know? People who tell me I should be dead every single day are mad, and I will simply state that I'm an insane person who stalks my family obsessively. So I want to say that this is bullshit that they stalk his family obsessively, but I will say showing up to every court hearing and then being the one to go do this is kind of... There's equity. There's like emotional equity that she has in this situation that we don't fully see yet. And I think that that's going to be, quote, funny and weird. And again, this doesn't like mean that it like defend Rekieta or anything. I'm just, you know, it's just sort of another character. Get in the fucking dirt psychotic bitch state. Like this is what I mean is you can't just leave it at this. That it's like this lady is obsessed. Like that's all he should have said. It's like, yeah, this lady's obsessed and there's probably some weird stuff. But instead we're talking about getting in the fucking dirt. It's wild. The real reason why this is so like stupid is one of the key claims that Rekieta will make or should be making. Anyway, about this, one of the biggest claims he has regarding a FOIA is like a legitimate privacy complaint, especially when it comes to evidence. And when he shows footage that he claims is from the raid. Now there's reason to believe it's not. At least the lady says it's not, that it doesn't look like that. And some of his exif sleuthing is not right. Doesn't help him as much as he thinks it does. Despite that, him showing that and just like totally destroying the presumption of privacy is just retarded. And the other thing is like the photos he showed still look bad. And I understand, like, you have a household with 5 kids, there's going to be places that are, like, cluttered or whatever. I mean, I've seen it. You got Thomas the Tank Engine everywhere, whatever. Okay, cool. But it's, like, the whole house, and a lot of, like, the dirt is, like, in the kitchen when there's, like, bottles everywhere and all sorts of weird shit like that. It's more than just kid clutter. And he openly shows it, and it's just, like, primo lolcow self-owned type stuff.
Has my children in it and my wife, and there's just no reason for people to see it. It's a whole thing where, there's parts of my life that should remain private. I was told over and over and over again, keep parts of your life private. So when I tried to keep part of my life private, people went fucking nuts. And I guess it's just how the internet goes. I mean, I should know this by now. I'm not dumb. But that being said, I will oppose it because, it's not anybody's business at all. And the law says that it's private. And so it shall remain private if I have anything to do with it. That said, I do know that my county government decided to fuck up. And what they did was allow 2 people to view the body cam footage in person.
Yeah, I mean, you're a public figure. I mean, all these things have been said. You're a public figure. You end up posting the pictures yourself, which is like, again, totally destroys everything he's saying here about they're obsessed with my life. You've walked people through this whole legal process. You've made it. You literally went to Hackamadia and showed private text messages of whose permission is questionable, whether you have or not, about eating goo. Come on, man.
Wow. It doesn't seem as bad as I remember it. Which is kind of weird, because I was like...
yes, it's very weird and funny that you think it's not that bad.
I'm not able to stop or rewind, so these are very off-the-cuff comments. The footage was a bit overwhelming. The house is so huge and cluttered that it's very disorienting to watch. Also, the officer we follow must be in charge. He's all over the place. He sticks in one room for a few minutes, then shuffles between them, so the footage is all over the place. However, we hardly see the kids at all. And all the officers act very kind and patient with the family. They did. I don't think I ever suggested otherwise. So that, I'll agree with that statement. There's a dirty cat house tower and filled trash bags on the patio. Were there? It doesn't sound right. But maybe.
Well, no, there either was or there wasn't. Like, again, if you're going to contend these claims to the point where you're willing to break your veil of privacy, your presumption of privacy. And okay, and to be clear, when I'm talking about presumption of privacy, so in the U.S., here's a perfect example. This is what they put on all the law school essays, exams. Police go by a house and the side gate is open. Like, can they enter? Or is there a presumption of privacy? If it's open, then no. If it's not, there isn't. And then there's all these rules about presumption of privacy and trash. Have you ever noticed that all of these restaurants have locks on their trash? That's why. It's to create like a presumption of privacy. So you're like completely destroying that when you do this. And also, like, if you're gonna do that, then say there weren't trash bags. There weren't this. Don't be like, well, maybe it could have hypothetically in like another world in Josh Moon's Truman Show,
Officer sees kids inside the house through the window, takes about 6 knocks. One of Nick's daughters can be heard saying, Daddy told her not to answer the door. Yeah, I told my kids not to answer the door because, that daughter is 8 years old at the time. So, I really don't want her answering the door. I would prefer her to get an adult. I didn't think that was weird. I didn't think that was weird at all. But I guess other people are like, no, 8-year-old, just answer the door for whoever comes up. That's fine. The cop said it was weird.
No, I think that was like... So I think what people's issue is not that your kid followed your correct directions, which is to not let the police in. It's that she was even in that position in the first place, which is caused directly by your actions. That's what people are criticizing.
Into different color piles.
And again, he's just destroying his presumption of privacy by doing this.
But here you go.
Oh!
So you can see...
I know other people have said this, but dude, the paper towel thing not on the rack. Oh my god. Why there's so many of these like Hydro flasks? Like the idea you have to set out the clothes. I mean, I'm not a big family expert. I'd like to be someday, but obviously you have kids in different rooms. You have like 2 kids in one room, 2 kids in another room, two kids in the other room. Why wouldn't you just have a hamper for each room, 3 hampers, and then you just sort the clothes as you pull them out? Why would you have to set them out like this? And then obviously formal clothes you should be dry cleaning. I know that's like a rich people thing, but it's fucking Rekieta.
There is quite a bit of laundry.
Also, why don't they... Wait a minute. What am I even saying? Why don't they just have someone do their laundry? That's the other thing, is the maid thing. Maybe I'm just spoiled, but like, how do you not have a full, like what comes once a week maid to clean everything and to do all of your laundry?
And there is stuff on the counter. Like I'm guilty of that 100%.
I'm saying this because Rekieta's rich, not that like everyone should have that.
And I'll show you. We'll get there.
So the explanation for that, I've heard, is that this is when family services came, and they had cleaned between the raid and family services. And you might wonder, well, why is there a police officer there with family services? It's to protect them. And that does happen, especially since it's the first time family services has been to the property. It's just to make sure things go without issue. And the fact that Nick had been kind of belligerent before, I don't think that that's crazy. That was just a. It sounds dramatic when I say police escort, but that's kind of what it is.
But so this is
It's sort of like how in domestic disputes, like family law stuff, sometimes they'll send a cop along with the husband or the wife to get all their shit.
You know, this is what is discussed, and absolutely, like there's a bunch of laundry out. Show metadata, you lying liar. Okay, like if you want me to, why do you, is this?
Why are you surprised, man? Why are you surprised? If anyone should be the expert about being called a liar and having all your ducks in a row by now, you think it'd be him.
Is this how you would
the Whippets, I guess.
lie about this? I don't know.
Yes,
Like,
this is the thing you'd lie about.
I'd post a clean house and be like, here, it's perfect. I wasn't prepared for you guys to ask for the metadata, but I'm happy to give it to you. Why do you need to see the metadata? Is it because you don't
It's because they don't believe you. Nobody believes anything you say, and there's no reason why they should.
believe that this picture, whoops, I assume the answer is no, because nothing ever seems to be satisfactory for people, but here you go. Maybe
he says that. Nothing ever seems to be satisfactory for people. Now, I'll say this. There's a little bit of truth to that people are generally, like, if people want to hate someone, they're going to find a way to hate them. But that's, like, a very small minority, first of all. And second of all, the thing is, he doesn't put in, like, the bare minimum effort to prove stuff. And when people asked him, and then he would say stuff like, well, just ask me behind the scenes and I'll tell you. Well, people did that with the whole Jamaica shit, and he just lied to their face. But anyway, she dropped some DMs where he just straight up lies about Jamaica and stuff.
on the picture that I have too. Pull up the details on your phone. BobTube says, you've picked the best.
So yeah, again, it's like, imagine this is your proof that your house isn't cluttered. Now, obviously, the specific claim is that it's even worse than this, and that's what we're going to find out, I guess, if the body cam footage ever comes out. And I don't blame people for doubting that it's going to come out. I don't blame for Ralph making his analysis or whatever. I personally am just an optimist, and so I want it out because I think it'll be entertaining. Obviously not like, and the kids will be censored and stuff. I'm not obviously. I don't think anyone wants to. He tries to make that claim, and it's fucking crazy. But he sort of, the problem is he like creates arguments for why it should come out when he starts to doubt, when he starts to say that nothing is true, like nothing happened, whatever.
Photos, and it's still bad. But you get to make your own judgments. It's fine. So yeah, the floors are completely covered in clothes and junk in some areas.
Well, she made her own judgment. Now you want her to die. So
There's no walkway. Like it wasn't on me, but having guns drawn on you is a little traumatic. She pauses to pick up the cat. So he sounds indignant. It was a little off-put. Yes, kids are sitting on the ground.
Why deny that, man?
They begin.
I honestly don't blame you for being in debt. Like that's like probably the most relatable part of this.
And photographing evidence inside Nick's streaming room, buried under hoarded junk, electronics, collectibles, and random gear. His 5 monitors set up and other equipment are visible, but everything around it is chaotic. The curated background people see during streams is a total facade. So let's go into my office. Here's the first one. As you can see, there is nowhere to possibly go in there.
Okay, well, first of all, this isn't your whole office. Second of all, you do have bottles everywhere, including on the fucking ground. Whoa, you have is that a, hold on, wait a minute. Enhance. Is that a crate of Kraken rum? A crate. I didn't know you can even buy this shit in crates. Kraken rum is overrated, by the way. But, yeah, you have bottles on the ground. Yeah, Nick got black, yeah. So yeah, this isn't really the proof you think it is, number one. Number two, again, it goes back to the kitchen. Okay, let's say that this is the day of. This is still pretty bad.
The floor is completely covered and inaccessible. Bottles are everywhere.
I mean, at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, add 10 for this crate, and then who knows what's over here?
Literally covering the ground. That's all.
Oh, here we got more. Why does he have? Whoa, buddy. Is this because April was under it, and when he was sucking him off, he needed to... Oh, buddy. So we have another glass here. We have candy on the... Dude, whoa! Look at all this. Hold on. That's what this... Okay, that's what happened. So all these bottles probably used to be on the ground all over the place, which is what, assuming we believe the lady, is what she saw. Okay? And then in the time between then and the picture being taken, he like put them all up here because he didn't even have time to throw them away. Dude, look at that. And that's not even all one bottle either. That's not even like you had a big party and maybe you get like a whole bunch of liquor or something. I don't know. I'm trying to like, I don't know why I'm trying to think of copes, but it's like, that's like probably like 30, 40 bottles.
My desk is a mess. I kept all of the empty liquor bottles that I had. You can see them up here on top of the shelves. Kayla and I have, she has plans for various art projects to make.
Okay, so she has plans with art projects with the bottles. Are you sure that art project isn't just like an intervention. Because that's like a really classic intervention strategy, is that you just like collect proof of like the rate of drinking and then confront the person with it all at once. Because like an alcoholic will not think about how much they're drinking in the moment. And so then you show them 500 bottles right in front of them, and it's like, wow.
Make cool stuff out of them. And we thought it would be fun to keep them, and we had space for it.
It was funny and weird to keep.
There are a bunch of bottles on the floor. This is 7 years of drinking daily. Why is there toilet paper?
Hold on. 7 years of drinking daily. Why would you just admit that you drank daily 7 years?
On the desk? Well, because I was doing a lot of cocaine and sometimes I needed to blow my nose, Spectre. So those glass bottles were these, they're about this big.
Yeah, no, he just casually admitted that he's been drinking every day for 7 years. It's just... That's like a Ralph strat. Although Ralph would have said it in a much funnier way. He would have been like, yeah, those are all my bottles from the last 2 days. I'm built different, right? That would be Kino. But instead we're like, yeah, you see, this is just 7 years of daily drinking. Just, whatever.
Do I have like 2 ounces basically or of really, really expensive whiskeys that someone sent in. So like whiskeys that were $1,500 a bottle and higher. So they sent me several of these little samples.
Okay. I'm something of a whiskey expert, guys. I've been to multiple distilleries and talked to a lot of whiskey guys. If you are paying more than $100 for a bottle of whiskey, you are being scammed. 100%. And every distiller will tell you this. $100 is pretty much the cap. And the reason why is because there are certain cultures, Chinese and Americans, who are obsessed with numbers. They're autistic about numbers because it signals social status. Specifically, when you have whiskeys that are 25 years, 50 years, whatever, stuff like that. Those literally, people buy those. Rich Americans and especially Chinese buy those. Macallan has made a ton of money off of this. They once sold like a fucking 70 or 50 year like limited run barrel for $1 gazillion or something. The peak year, it depends on the whiskey, but generally the distance in quality of taste between a 15-year and a 20-year whiskey is like 10%, but then the price is like 50%. And this is why I say $100, because a 15-year bottle of Macallan, if you're buying it correctly, which is in the way you used to buy it is you would invest in a cask with friends, but and nowadays you can't do that anymore. Macallan doesn't do it. Macallan completely demolished its old distillery that was very wholesome and was very good, and now it's like it was designed. The new Macallan distillery designed by the guy who made Heathrow. It's super alienating. But literally, if you just buy like 15-year whiskey, you're probably paying like $50-$60, which is still a lot. I'm not saying like do this regularly, obviously, but you're getting like a really good Scotch. And then you pay like $120 for 20-year whiskey, and it's not that much better. My point of all this is if anyone tells you that I have a $1,500 whiskey, you are a mark. You have been scammed. You are not getting $1,500. You're not even getting half of that in quality of whiskey. Whoever sent that to you is an idiot. You're an idiot for buying it, for having all these whiskeys, different types that are $1 gazillion. Like, you've been scammed. What people who actually drink whiskey do is that they try to find very quickly the exact kind of whiskey they like. Specifically, I like Scotch and I like peaty Scotch. And then they find like a distillery that they like that does it, and then they find the least expensive year date of that. And some whiskeys don't even do years. Macallan used to not even do years, and Macallan's not even my choice anymore because, like I said, they changed their distillery. Some of them don't even do years. They do themes. So Macallan used to do ones where, and this is specifically for the European market because it's Americans that are obsessed with the numbers. But if you're buying in America, you're going to get a number. And it's almost always 15 years, the one you want to get if you're trying to drink something fancy, because anything more than that, you're overpaying. And whenever Nick would talk about whiskey, it always made me cringe because he'd always talk about the prices and not talk about the whiskey. And there's ways to drink whiskey so you can talk about the taste. And it's just like a giant LARP. It's like hood rich type stuff. And when he's talking about I have $1,500, it's just gay. It's just all very gay. I guess I'm gay for even knowing about any of this, but whatever. That's the whiskey rant for the decade. I should never have to talk about this again.
The mystery of the brown glass bottles that were wrapped in tissues. So an officer enters and
the mystery of the brown bottle.
Informs that cocaine. As Nick is being walked to the squad car, he tells the officer, "I hope you catch gonorrhea and die." I still hold that sentiment.
Yeah, that's like straight up cuck rage. And we've seen a lot of cuck rage from Nick, whether it was in the Keanu debate or whatever. But yelling at a cop who's already arresting you, it's like, this is like one of the like things every lawyer will tell you. It's like your time to fight is in court. It's not in the arrest, because you're not going to convince a cop who's there to arrest you. You're not going to convince him not to arrest you. I know that people watch like Trailer Park Boys and they see Ricky do these little tricks and it's funny. It's great, right? But that's not the way the real world works. The time to save all of your goo, to save all of your arguments, to say whatever is the courtroom. And it's not to the cop. And when you say, I want you to catch gonorrhea and die, and then it ends up in documents like this, if this ever went to a jury trial, they would totally the DA would fight for that to be in. Now, there's a whole argument about whether that's more prejudicial than probative. Okay, sure, whatever. But the point is, there is a world where it could potentially be admitted. And why? Why even give them that? Like, the minute it's clear that you're getting arrested, you should literally just shut the fuck up and go. And I know I made funny, everybody says that and then doesn't follow it, but it's just overwhelming cuck rage is what motivates this.
Perhaps I'm just hold on to that was a big issue. And it was a violation of her.
Well, see, the issue with it, Nick, is not necessarily like this April's legal status. It's that you lied. Like, that's the thing he doesn't seem to understand about a lot of the things that people are criticizing him for regarding this body cam footage account. Is a lot of it is not about the material facts themselves on the ground. It's the fact that he related them differently and insisted on it and stood by it, and now it's been proven to be a lie. And Nick should understand this. He should understand what impeaching a witness is. When he tells you that April didn't say anything to the cops, which is what his position was, that she didn't say anything, and now he's here saying, oh, well, she did, it was just on herself. It's like, okay, if you were a witness on the stand, you'd be impeached. And I get that this is not like actually a trial or whatever, but my point is that a lot of people are thinking about it that way, and now it's like, what else is a lie? Obviously everything, because all the stuff with the swinging, everything else is a lie too. It's just another one for the pile. And so then don't get mad at people when they say, show us the EXIF data, show us this, show us that, prove it beyond a reasonable doubt.
It's a question after question after question, like right after that. And so that was it. April just said that she stayed at the house.
Yeah, and then she answered the questions. Again, you lied about this. You said she wasn't Mirandized, and you just said she was.
So they give April her stuff, tell her she's being arrested. She starts freaking out. But this whole like idea that April ratted on anybody or snitched at everybody is completely untrue. It's a fiction made up in Aaron's mind, because he's like, aha, that's what happened. It never did at all. So she wasn't charged initially. She was supposed to be. It was actually I've told this story before a little bit, but some stupid rumor out there that it was because she went to a tattoo convention. It's a downstairs kid area.
Whoa, look at the cat. Whoa. This cat's like, this is like looking into the eyes of a soldier in a trench on the Western Front. He's seen some shit. This is like Come and See, the kid from Come and See. Hold on. This is the cat.
We have our kid's place. Trying to see if I can
show us the cat.
This is Button. Button has a dark spot on his nose, so that's how you can tell. It might be hard for you guys to see, but he has a brother named Lion who looks almost identical to him, slightly different coloration, but you can tell by the nose. This is part of the kids' common area. That they're not. Here's this part. The other side.
See, now this actually I kind of am more understanding of, because this is the kids' stuff. Them having shit everywhere. This is pretty normal for kids. The problem is it looks less like, toys that are like in the middle of play, and more like stuff's fallen over, like this crate here. So like this stuff looks kind of what I'd expect from a bunch of kids playing with toys. This looks like something got knocked over or whatever. All these cabinets are, damn.
We obviously lived in a drug den, where you couldn't even count, like, you couldn't.
I mean, you kind of by definition lived in a drug den, if we're just defining a drug den as a place where drug addicts live and keep large amounts of drugs where they also use it. Like, it's storage, use, and living in one place, which is what your house was.
Couldn't tell if
this is. You are in one sentence trying to say, I have a right to privacy. Please stop looking into my house. Leave me alone. And also, here's a picture of every room in my house
that I've talked about. So, but this is where they decided they set all the drugs down on this, and I'll describe everything here. So this is obviously a digital scale, a little tray.
This does not look like a cop, Nick. This looks like a guy in khakis.
Mama K says, this is one actual legit photo. Hey, Mama K, you're a fucking scum bitch. I hope you die. I really do. Go away. Fuck you. You're disgusting.
This is what I mean. Like, I understand why he's attacking this lady for I get it. You have he is trying to he's trying to cope. He's trying to cope as the copeless, right? But the angle to attack this lady is just to be like, you know, you're a former fan, like you're obsessed, whatever, not die, kill yourself, etc. It's just, you're not in the optics war that he is fighting right now. You are not going to win against middle-aged hippie wine mom lady by saying stuff like that. At least
take your trauma somewhere
else. You want to trivialize her. You don't want to. That's how you win. You trivialize her.
Else. I didn't abuse you. I didn't abuse my kids. Someone else abused you. Go take it up with them. Fuck's sake. You're a psychopath. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Oh. He wants to see my kids suffering. My kids were very calm through all this. It was traumatic, of course. But they weren't suffering. They weren't like wailing or moaning in the streets. They're just there. They don't really like, there's nothing to do. They just had to wait. They had to wait for everything to progress. But they're not having a fit. They're not screaming and crying. They're not breaking down. They're not filthy and dirty. They're just kids. Leave them the fuck alone.
I mean, one of them was on cocaine, buddy. Like that's just the thing overshadowing this whole little rant here about I'm trying to protect my kids and they're just living a normal life. It's like, well, the drug test says different, bud.
Such a goddamn weirdo. Coringill says, well, I just saw the shower in that house you sold and I guess it influenced my view. Josh didn't influence me in the slightest. That shower, other people.
Okay, that photo's crazy. This house, the side house for the side hoe, the shower literally looks like fucking Saw. It's wild. I don't know what's going on there.
People lived there for 4 years. My goal.
I've been in houses people lived in for 100 years, and the showers don't look like that, buddy.
Was get rid of that house as fast as possible. I didn't really care to go over and clean the shower because cleaning the shower wasn't going to be the thing that made or broke the sale of that house.
I don't know about that, man. If I was buying a house and I walked in and I saw that shower, I would start asking, like, did something happen here? Was someone killed? Like, whoa.
Should work to it. I think the people who bought it are renovating it entirely, which is awesome.
So I wonder why.
Go ahead and show this. This is our Lego display room.
Can we see Gator's Lego display room? Can we see Jim's Lego display room? Because those guys definitely have fucking Lego display rooms.
So up on this top shelf, there's a bunch more of this, but I don't have it all. Up on this top shelf is a bunch of Legos that are completed Lego sets. We have like the Home Alone house up here. And not trying to overlook or hide anything, there are a bunch of socks over here. This socks that they're all mismatched.
That would be so Kino if he did fire sales, but Whippets.
I don't know. This picture has one of the officers in it. So this is the bathroom. This is the infamous bathroom. I showed you earlier where the safe was found. But here's a wire.
Do you guys have an infamous bathroom? I bet Gator has an infamous bathroom.
Sure. Sunny had not been out yet. So over here on the right, this is the officer taking the picture.
See, that's not an officer. Okay, so yes, this is when the CPS people came. All right, that's like confirmation to me. This is not a policeman. He's not dressed like a policeman. He doesn't have all the like radios and shit. This is literally just a CPS guy. This is when CPS came, which means it was a couple days later, which is when he cleaned up. Why would you do this, man? Why? Like, it's so obvious. Look at him. This is not a cop. This is not a fucking cop.
So here's this
is apparently the dog's prison. He lives in here.
The bathroom where Sunny is trapped. Now, Sunny stays in this bathroom when there's not someone to supervise her.
He had to cope. You had to think about the cope there for a minute.
Like you would have a kennel trained dog, except she has a big fucking bathroom. I don't know. Locked in.
So the cope is, yes, they are trapped in the bathroom, but it's big.
The bathroom. Look at her living in squalor. It's terrible. Just abused and constrained. Not the same. Dogs don't do good in isolation. The dog isn't in isolation. The dog has a place to stay when no.
It's like April. He's talking about the dog like April. April does not live with me. She just has a place to stay for 1 month, which she tells a police officer, which establishes ownership.
No one is around to supervise her, so she's not running around the house like crazy. And
we don't want April running around the house like crazy so that my kids see that they have 2 moms.
Have you heard how many stories were from the bathroom? Like all of them. This is where
I've just now confirmed all the stories for no reason, and they all occurred in the bathroom. All the stories that people have said were in the bathroom are now true. I've just now confirmed this.
I have a Google Music thing in there. I hang out in this bathroom like Steve Harvey.
The bathroom hangout. What the fuck is he saying? I have Google speakers in the bathroom. This is where you hang out in the bathroom because this is where the shower calls happen.
Hangs out in his bathroom. I don't know how else to say it. Like, that bathroom is one where the dog gets a ton of interaction.
Elegy to my bathroom. My one refuge on this earth is my bathroom.
Action. But two, when there are people around, she comes out of the bathroom and she hangs out in the house, or she goes outside like a normal dog. I don't know what to say other than.
I mean, I don't even care about the dog anymore. Now I want to know about why the bathroom is like your fucking inner sanctum. But
I've always thought that, like kennel training a dog was fine. This is a big fucking kennel. So the last picture I have is of the karaoke room.
My bathroom is both my refuge and my kennel.
Here's a karaoke room. I don't know, there's one of those pictures taken by the cops on the day of the arrest.
We saw two people, to be clear, in these photos. We saw some pants and shoes, which look like civilian pants and shoes, khakis and some loafers. And then we saw a guy in a mirror who's very clearly not a cop. They had khaki pants. They were wearing a regular dark shirt that had a name tag. He proved that this was from the CPS call, which we know was days later. Why? Why do you even show this?
April was in that bedroom for like 10 minutes. Kayla was asleep at the time.
Rekieta only lasts 10 minutes, confirmed.
That there's something in the body cam footage of me beating my wife and son, which is kind of that's weird. I'm not sure how it got.
So yeah, there's rumors of that, and I think that's what Gabe Hoffman is going to make a claim about. And the problem is that calling people wife beater is per se defamation. That's why I called it out when he called Aaron a wife beater, and then he tried to walk it back and say no, he's just emotionally abusive. And I think that's what Gabe is going to say. Is Gabe is going to pull up some some stupid shit, is trying to claim that he's like he hit his kids or something. I don't know. I can't say whether it's true or not. I don't know, but it is funny that Casey has him wrapped around their finger so much that he's going to go basically do a suicide felt on another channel so that they can still comment on it and get all the benefit without any of the risk.
Gotten away with that on body. My house is not in ideal shape. Just for her to act in the way she does. I'm sorry that she was molested or abused or whatever by a drug addicted mother or father. I don't know. I don't remember which one. She told me something about it, but not too much.
Okay, so if she told Rekieta direct, because what I thought was Mama K told Will Heron, and then Will Heron leaked it because Will Heron's a retard. But no, apparently he told him directly. So Arrow, you're right. She's a former fan. It's got to be.
I'm sorry that happened to you. That doesn't happen in my own life by looking for my life to be worse than it is. So I don't know how to laugh harder at this. Steel yourselves for what I'm about to do. Some people are very uncomfortable with things like this, but it's happening right now.
Look at him. Look at his nose. It looks like John Madden.
Holy shit. Alyssa Clips. Hey, Alyssa.
Look at his nose. It's straight. He's straight up Rudolph maxing. It's like.
How you doing? 26 minutes ago. Hi, friends. That's false. I've been dealing with some health issues, and after a recent visit to the ER, a large pancreatic mass was found. Well, that just sucks. I'm sorry. Let's see. I've been advised this is urgent and needs attention ASAP. So I'm currently in the process of trying to get an appointment with an oncologist for surgery. Don't be surprised if you start seeing delays in content posting, and make sure you're following Stalin for current happenings. All channel donations are appreciated. Prayers, good vibes, even more so. Nick Rekieta recently said to me, oh my God, I hope cancer does the work God won't. That doesn't sound like me at all. Why would I say that? Weird. So now might be a good time.
Weird and funny. So yeah, it's a dick move, but I don't know. All these people are so fucking angry. It's the way it's going to go.